Neo, the main character, is searching for something. The movie begins, you're watching an internet search, searching, searching, searching. He's looking for something, and he doesn't know what it is, but he senses a wrongness in the world. And what he's actually searching for, he cannot possibly find, because all of his searches are happening within the matrix. And what he's looking for is the world outside of the matrix. It would be like using the internet to search for something that's not on the internet. You know, you put it into Google, all you get is web pages. You know, but what you're searching for isn't on a web page. And when he's finally brought into the presence of Morpheus, Morpheus says, "You know why you're here, don't you? You sensed a wrongness in the world. You have been looking for me for a very long time. I've been looking for you your whole life." There's a lot more to it. This glimpse is an actual experience of the new self and the new world. And it could last just for an instant, it could last for a few days or even a few weeks, occasionally for a few months. And you actually are there. It's not an illusion. But then the experience ends. And you may kind of go back into despair, but it's different. The despair no longer seems so real, because you know that there's something else and you know that you can get there. But whereas with the glimpse in the stage 5, you've just been put there, you've been taken there by an external power. You haven't found it yourself. When you enter stage 6, okay, so you get put there a few times and you get back again, and you maybe try to recreate the circumstances that put you there. Well, what did I do? What did I do to earn this experience? What did I do to create this experience? You know, maybe it was because I took 4 tabs of LSD. So you try that again, and maybe it brings you back, but not for as long. And then you try it again, it doesn't bring you back there at all. Or maybe it was because you fasted for a week. So then you become a fasting addict, trying to get back to this. Or maybe it was some powerful workshop or something you did, and so you do it again, you want to get back to that place. But you can't. Eventually, you will no longer be transported there. And so at some point, you conclude, well, I'm just going to have to walk back. That is stage 6. Stage 6 is the invisible path. The whole thing is the invisible path, and especially stage 6 is the invisible path. And that's the one that especially contains all of the others. It's very different from the search, because at stage 6, because you've been to that destination, you know, you can see it. Let's put it that way. It's like this beacon far away. And here you are, and there's a wilderness between you and this beacon. And so you start walking. And you descend into the wilderness. Sometimes you go into valleys and you can't see the beacon anymore. And you begin to wonder, did I really see that? Was that experience real? Am I just imagining it? But then you ascend a crest, and there it is again. And then sometimes you walk into a swamp, a dead end, and you almost drown, and you claw your way back again, and you begin to learn to recognize the terrain that says there's a swamp up ahead. And so you become more experienced as a wanderer on this invisible path. There are no maps on the invisible path. There are no maps to reach the beacon that you've seen. There are these general maps that have been created by people who have reached that beacon. But there's no map specific to the wilderness that you are traveling. Because there's no map, you have to rely on your intuition, on your guidance, on your feelings of what's a right turn and what's a wrong turn. entering into it, those feelings are very weak, and we're not accustomed to listening to them. We're accustomed to following a map. That map is called reason. And it's also the form of what people have told us. The guidance on the invisible path is not a rational guidance. It comes in the form of feelings, which we, over time, learn to recognize and we learn to trust. As we proceed along the invisible path, we encounter new kinds of terrain, where the old guiding feelings even are not enough, because we've never encountered this before. And so our trust in our feelings is stretched and it deepens. There are guardians as well. There are certain crossroads on the path. And these guardians, their job is to say, do you really want to get there? If so, you have to wrestle me. There's a story in the Bible about that.
Yeah.
Jacob. He wrestles with an angel. It's not a demon, it's an angel. It's a guardian, because you don't want to move past that unless you're ready. Another thing that we have on the invisible path is that we encounter other people who are wandering the path also. Sometimes a whole group of such people meet at a certain time and place, and they say, hey, I saw that beacon too. It is real. We remind each other, and we gather, and we speed each other along, and we support each other on our way. Once that first meeting has happened, then other ones follow, and you begin to expect them. And there are parts on the path where you cannot wander it alone, and can only do it holding hands with somebody else. There's all kinds of terrain. After a period of wandering, see, this isn't one of those things that you seek and follow and look for the rest of your life and you never get there. You actually do arrive at a place. Stage 7 is arrival. And you know that you've arrived. There's a few things I can tell you. Almost every day you wake up happy and excited to live your day. You have a felt experience that your gifts are being received and that they're being devoted to something beautiful. And you just don't go back to the old world anymore. That back and forth, in and out of the old world. You know, when you're on stage 6, I mean, that happens sometimes. In fact, that's part of the terrain. Oh, I'm back here again, okay? At stage 7, you're done with that. You are truly born into a new world. And then the whole thing begins again at a more subtle level. You can map this onto a birth process also. Maybe I'll do that later.